Wait, we're on.
Okay.
All right, take it away.
All right. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kylie. Can y'all hear me okay? Nod your heads. Okay, great. I have my headphone in and sometimes they're weird. My name's Kylie. I recently moved from North Carolina to Wisconsin. I'm originally from Wisconsin, but we moved here in September, so I'm completely starting over in a new state. I'm a director. Totally transparent because this is about revamping. I have had highs and highs and highs, and then I've had like lows, super lows, and I feel like I'm in that low right now. I became a director in 2020 when we all had that massive hyper growth. I was staying home all the time. So I was able to really focus. People were buying because they were bored. And then, 2021 came back. I still stayed pretty close to where I was with COVID. And then this year, you've seen a sudden drop, like most of you have. And that's what made me decide to do something like this. I asked Courtney to do it. We've been friends for a while. I figured we both have similar strengths, but we both have different strengths. And this is a training program, whatever you want to call it, that I felt like you needed to have two people who have been through a lot of it and can give their perspectives. I'm a mom. She's 16 months old. She's a hot mess. She's the cutest thing though, but she's sassy. I was staying home with her full time up until we moved. Now we're part time at the church we go to in the kids ministry. I love it. And other than that, I'm really boring. I mostly read or bake or play with my dogs and my bunny in my free time. So that's me. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit. If you see me looking down, I have my notes or I will squirrel. I'm going to kind of take you back to the basics. Okay. We're going to talk about the basics. We're going to talk about resources. I'm going to talk a little bit about promoting, and then Courtney's going to take over and she's going to go into the comp plan, IPA'S, systems, Ruts. We're going to cover a lot. Okay. So I'm not making any promises. It's going to be just an hour. We're going to try, but it might be a little bit more like an hour and 15, hour and 20. We understand if you have to go. We would love for you to stay because you can ask questions through this and we will try to answer them the best we can. Otherwise, they will go on YouTube at some point.
I was going to say real quick, Kylie, the only reason some of y'all might be like, okay, Courtney, 9:00 is like super late for me. Just so you know, we're on different times. So it's 8:00 where Kylie is and it's 9:00 where I am. So I chose to do later because my kids don't go to sleep until like 9:30, but by the miracle of God, my husband's home from hunting and they're in bed. So we had to play this on both spectrums of the time lapse. So sorry for that. It's super late.
Yeah. Harper didn't go to bed till about 30 minutes ago. So otherwise we'd have a screaming toddler. So PRV and why it's important. Some of this might be really repetitive to you. Some of you might be new. PRV is really the cushion. Okay. It's really the cushion of your business. It's where you are meeting people, you're building relationships. It's where you're earning money. It's where you are meeting new recruits, new hosts. You're seeing what your customers like, what your customers don't like. You're able to make your samples. That is really like the bread and butter of your business, right? And so it's important that every single month you're making goals for that PRV. You're making goals of, well, I guess I'll just see what I'm getting now. I guess I'll just see, oh, I got 2,000 last month. Let's just see what I get. No, if you got 2,000 last month, guys, have a plan. Like, what did you do? What worked? What didn't? Right. And we're going to go into a lot of that next week. So I'm not going to dig too deeply into it today. However, what we're talking about a lot of today is going to relate back to having that PRV plan. It's okay if you're not at 2,000. It's okay if you're not hitting 1,000 right now. That's not what we're saying. But having a PRV plan, my goal was 2,000 PRV for literally 15 months until I hit it. It was, what's your goal this month, Kylie? 2,000. Did I hit it? Not until like the 16th month, but it was still my goal. And then once I did that for 3 months, then I bumped it up to 2,500. Okay. So just having that goal. The other thing I want to mention is GWV. Some of you might know what it is. Some of you might not. Okay. So, PRV, personal retail volume, is for every one untaxed dollar is one PRV. GWV is 75% of you and your group's wholesale. Okay. Wholesale volume. That means before taxes, that's 75%. If you have a director under you, that's when things change. That's where we're going to dig into that comp plan a little bit to understand, but you don't really have to focus on that too much until you're a director and you have a director under you. Okay. But group wholesale volume is 75% of you and your team sales. You're going to see that right big and center on your workstation. That's why I brought it up, because you need to know how to analyze how much you need. So like if you're looking to promote to lead and you need, 1,000 GWV, you need to know how far away you are. And you're going to do that by taking, and I will share, if I remember tonight, I'll share a comment. I have like a image that tells you how to break it down. But I will share it with you. So you take your GWV and you divide it by 0.75. Okay. And that's going to tell you what your current PRV is adding up. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So like at the end of the month, when I'm calculating how much sales, how much revenue my whole entire team did, I take my GWV amount and I divide it by 0.75. And then it's, if I have 10,000, I think that's 15,000 in sales. I think 10,000 GWV is 15,000 in sales. So then it's, it would turn into a 15,000. That's how much dollars. That's one untaxed dollar. Every one untaxed dollar your team sold that year. Okay. So you're going to hear more about that later. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about, parties and VIP page. Okay. We're going to also talk about parties next week. However, talking about systems, IPA'S, comp plan, you guys need to understand where parties, like why we say party. And right now parties are hard. I know. I'm struggling with parties. Courtney's struggling with parties. I know Holly's struggling with parties. Like it's just a thing right now. And I used to be killing it with parties. I used to have like 10 a month. People are like, yes, yes, yes. But guess what? That was COVID when people were home bored and missed everybody, right? So now you have to get creative. So what do? For me, I'm doing personal shopping links. If somebody says no to a party, I say, okay, well, do you want to do a personal shopping link? And they're like, sure, why not? Like, what do I have to miss? And then when they hit 200, I turn it back around to a party again. I say, hey, you already have 200. Why not try a party now? Because why not? Like you already have the rewards. You're literally not going to lose them. You might gain more. So parties, you're going to get those from your customers, right? So that's going all the way back again to PRV. Okay. And I know it sounds like I'm out of breath. I'm just freezing cold. But that's what you're going to do. The other thing, VIP page, you should have one. Okay. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if you have a business page or if you have a group. Personally, I got rid of my business page. I have a group. I add I do not have consultants on there. I just add my customers. I'm sharing specials. I'm sharing new items. I'm sharing things I'm doing. I'm going, like today I went live and I shared putting a diffuser in my bedroom, changing the purifier, adding a fragrance flower. I go live unboxing orders I get in. I share the warmer of the month. My VIP people see first before the rest of the world. And there's things I post on there that I'm not sharing on my personal page. Okay, this is where people are going to feel special. They're going to feel important. You do drawings. Like I did the 12 days of scentness. Every time somebody interacted on one of those 12 days, they're getting put into a drawing and they're going to win something for me. What is it? I don't know, probably a scent pack or something I already have. But a VIP page is going to be important. And another thing before I forget, if you have a party with somebody and they flip, right? So if you flip that party and they join, turn that party into their VIP page for them. Okay, I'm sure we'll talk about that next week, but you want to make sure that you're setting them up for success. So I'll usually say, hey, let me help you with this launch party for you. I'm going to make it a group. And then when they join and they're done and all that, I'm like, okay, well now here you are. You're going to take the reins of this group. It's your VIP page. You already got people in it. They're already interested. They're already buying. You just build off of it. And that seems to go really well. Like people take that and yes, I'm stuck in their group for however long until I can make them an admin, but it's okay. I just turn off the notifications and I don't even know I'm in it. So keep that in mind. The next things I want to talk about, this is important if you're new or if you are somebody who's looking into being leadership. You need to understand and know about whatever specials or incentives or awards we have, right? Shooting star. I'm sure you all know what shooting star is, and shooting star is so important. That is what I get my people going with when they join. I say, okay, first 15 days, we're getting shooting star. It's literally $500. I'm literally helping you the first 2 weeks anyway, so there's no excuse for us to not at least get you active and almost there. They get very, very excited. Why? They're going to get an award. They're going to be recognized. It's exciting, and they get that kit unlocked. Okay, they're going to get an exclusive warmer. It's a big deal. They get announced at SFR. Their name will be up there, all these big things. So shooting star, you need to know what that is. Then there's sensational start, levels 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm not going to go super in depth about them. You can look them up on your workstation, or I'm going to be sharing my team's Google Drive and boards, I think both of them tomorrow, if not within this week. And I have multiple resources on there you can look at that breaks it down. What you need to know is that gives them an incentive to keep going. It's a good thing to push them towards once they're done with shooting star. Like, okay, shooting star's done. That's amazing. You hit it. You're halfway to level 1 sensational start now. Let's do that. Now your first 75. I just make their launch like 75 days. Like, okay, your first 75 days, let's go. Like, this is what you're doing. Okay. Incentives. How many of you, put in the comments before I say, how many of you know our incentive plan? I'm talking, when is our trips? When do we have other incentives? What are the other incentives? Have you earned any? I feel like people don't always see this as something they need to understand. But it's something, yes, that Courtney, I just saw your comment. Yes, give them the PRV. How many of you? Okay, so you guys are knowing about them. So fall, right? Every fall travel incentive. They're changing things up a little bit with dates, but August through January travel, right? That's the big incentive. Why? Fall is our biggest time of year. Scentsy's trying to set you up for success, guys. Okay. Spring, what is it? February through July-ish. We're doing our spring incentive, which is generally 3-tier as well. Last year was a little different. It was like 2 months you had to earn one thing, 2 months you earned another, and then 2 months you earned something else, right? So every month there's some sort of incentive going on. It's the first 6 months and the last 6 months. But the reason that we're bringing this up is it's very easy to get tunnel vision when it comes to incentives. And it's very easy to, oh, just one more sale. Let me get that incentive. One more sale, one more sale, one more. For me right now, I am 5,500 away from level 2 of our current incentive. And all I can think of is getting that cruise, because I've never been on a cruise and I want to go on a cruise. And I'm like, take a step back, because if I start thinking, oh, I need 3,500 PRV, I need 3,500 PRV, I need da, 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 guess what? My customers are going to know that. They're going to know that I don't care about them. I don't care about their money. I just care that they're spending their money with me. I don't care that their mom just died. I don't care that they, are in school. I don't care that they're pregnant. I don't care that the economy is the way it is. That's what they're going to think, whether they know that or not. If I keep going, oh, but come on, one more. Are you sure you don't? They're going to just see me as money hungry and greedy. And we need to build those relationships. So what I focus on every year, and I know Courtney does the same goals every month as if it's a travel incentive. Okay. So when it's the springtime and it's kind of slow and I'm kind of like, things are not going well, I'm still in my mind thinking 2 recruits a month, 2 promotions a month, 2K PRV a month, and trying to get paid at title and all these things, so that when the fall comes and we're going to have those boosts, guess what? My baseline is already minimum for those travel incentives. My baseline is already minimum for those spring incentives, where you have to get, what is it, 1 recruit to certified, or 1,500, what was it, 3,000 PRV that you had to get, or something in 2 months, or something like that. But that's setting you up for success in the mindset of, I can do this. I'm already doing this. This incentive's not going to scare me. Anybody can earn an incentive. Is it hard? Heck to the yes. They are hard. They're meant to be hard because, 1, Scentsy can't put out money for everybody to go, right? 2, we need to earn it. It's not like, oh, well, you went too. Oh, you went too. No, these are special once in a lifetime events. I'm telling you now, I went to Disney. I earned Alaska, but we didn't go to Alaska. they're once in a lifetime trips and they're phenomenal. Always aim for them, but don't make that your lifeline. Don't make that what Scentsy's about for you. And if that is why you joined Scentsy, that's fantastic. That's fine. That's great. But make sure you're still building those relationships. Make sure you're still making sure that your people who are supporting you are more important than that $100 left that you need to get, right? So before I go any further in that, you can comment questions. I can talk fast. I'm a Midwest girl. We can talk quickly. So you can ask me questions and I will answer. And I'm going to talk about resources. Okay. Resources. I'm just going to be completely honest. If you're on my team right now, don't take offense to this. I get so many questions about where can I find this? Where can I find that? Where is this? Where is that? And I have probably shared it 20,000 times. It's probably pinned, probably somewhere, probably 5 places. And people, and I know this is other teams. It's literally not just, it's not certain people I'm calling out. It's everybody. I've done this myself. But we don't look. We just are kind of like, oh, well, Courtney will know. Courtney does it. Courtney posted it. Where can she get it? Well, maybe I'll just ask, Holly. Maybe Holly knows where it's at. I do that actually to Holly all the time. We'll be in the middle of a conversation. I'll be like, hey, I'm too lazy to look at the news tab. What's the answer to this question? And then I'm like, would I want my teammates to do that? No, I don't. So resources, we need to utilize them. Scentsy gives us resources. Your teams give you resources. If they didn't, you wouldn't be on this meeting right now. I know my team has a Google Drive. I know my team has a board that I've made them. I also know that I have shared obscene amount of documents, Canva links, other people's links that they've shared or images they've made. And then I also share the news tab. Do I share what it is? Nope. I just send a screenshot and I say, go check the news tab. But then do you know what people do after that? They either comment or text me, what was the news article? Where can I find that? If I wanted to give you all that information, I would have put it there, right? Resources. If you want to be a leader and you want to be a strong leader, and this goes to anybody, this is one of the first things I was taught. It's okay to ask for help. That's not what we're saying. Otherwise, also, we wouldn't be doing this training. You need to learn how to utilize the resources given to you before you reach out to your upline. The reason being, if I had 500 people under me and 100 of them asked me the same question, I wouldn't be able to answer all of them, right? So we need to figure out resources, how to use them, how to utilize them. What should we share with our team? I'm telling you right now, if you're on my team and you have made something fantastic that you love, that is helpful, that you like, that better be on our team page. You better be sharing that to the team page. You better be adding that to the Google page. You better be doing whatever you can do to get it in our hands, because that's a valuable thing. Okay, resources are valuable. You need to, it's like at a job, right? So you can be handed the tools, but it's what you do with them. Okay, think of it like that. So you're going to see a Google Drive shared. That's my team's Google Drive. You are absolutely more than welcome to share that or to have that. If you are a leader, you can absolutely share that with your teams. Things are locked on it, so you can't edit them. If you do want something, you can copy it to your Google Drive so that it's not being changed within mine, because a ton of people have access to that. You're also going to get a boards page that I have for my team. My team seems to really love that. It's like everything's in one place. You can make it a keyboard. But resources, you need to use them. And I did share the chain of command earlier, right? So you're going to check workstation first. You're going to check your team pages. You can even, text a friend. Like I said, like I'll text Holly, if I don't know something, or you can text, you can call consultant support or chat them if they're open. If you can't find it on any of those things, which I guarantee you will find it eventually, especially if you're on leadership pages or you post the question, because you might not be the only one with the question. Then that's when you're going to go to your sponsor or your director, okay? Or if your sponsor is your director, that's where you have to know those things too. But I'm not saying this to be mean or harsh or we don't care, because we do. We're doing this because we care, but we want to set you up for success. We want to set you up for success as a leader. And sometimes that's tough love, like what they're saying in the comments, like tough love is love. Tough love is needed. Tough love is You know, if somebody on my team texts me and I don't have time to answer it back, I might just be like, check the workstation, check the team page. I don't know, something like that. Or I might not answer. There's never an emergency. Okay. There's never an emergency with Scentsy that you can't figure out already. And it's probably not an emergency. It's probably like you want to do the best customer service you can and get back to somebody. But that doesn't mean it's an emergency and you need to be texting your, SSDs or your star directors or your directors at 11 o'clock at night. Right? So resources, we're going to be diving into those this week. You're going to get a bunch of them. I want to hear your favorites. If you have some good ones on the resource posts, share yours on the resource post. That's what this is for. We're here to mingle. We're here to meet. We're here to, share ideas. Okay. Next and last before Courtney, promotions. I get a lot of questions. How do I know I'm close to promotion? What do I get for a promotion? What is my next promotion? All those things. Courtney's going to go into the comp plan, but I'm going to talk about what you need to pay attention to and look at on your workstation to know you're close or what your promotion might be. So when you're looking at your workstation, you're going to see, unless you're brand new, it looks a little different. You have that just one circle, but if you've been around for a while, you're going to look at your workstation, you're going to see PRV, GWV in like a littler circle, and then you're going to see little people's heads, right? Then, and that says like, what does it say? Current or something like that. And then you see another tab and it says promotion or next something in gray. You can click that and that's going to tell you what your next level is. That's going to tell you what you are going to promote to when you get there. And it's probably like, for me, it's star director. So I have a ton of things I need to do before I get to star director, like get 2 directors under me. I'm not there yet. So I just focus on my first one. Right when you open workstation, it's going to show you that PRV, GWV, and some little heads. The PRV, right? You need to have at least 500. So if you're not having 500 PRV and you're wanting to promote, I'm sorry, you're not going to promote. You could have the GWV, you could have the active frontline, you could have 10,000 GWV and 15 active frontline. But if you're only hitting active every month, you're not going to promote. Okay. You're not going to promote. It's just not going to happen. Earn promotion. Thank you, Holly. Then, so pay attention to that PRV. And now the new thing is you can make a goal of your PRV. That is new. That didn't used to be there. So I now set my goal and it tells me how close I am and everything. My goal is always 2K. So once you hit 500, I think that little circle fills up, but I just always aim for 2K. Then you're going to see GWV. It's going to fill up the closer you're getting to being paid at title. Okay, paid at title. That's important. You can be, Holly, I'm going to use you for example because I know your numbers. Lead consultant. You need 1,000 GWV, 500 PRV, 1 active frontline. Okay, let's say for situation purposes, Holly has a team of 10. She's a lead consultant. She's only hitting active, but she has 5,000 GWV and all of her active frontline that she needs. So she has 1, right? She's not promoting. She's not being paid at title for that. Paid at title means you're being paid at your rank. She would just be getting paid for her PRV. Okay, are we getting that? She'd only be paid for her PRV. She'll be leaving a ton of money on the table, guys. So you want to keep that in mind. But if Holly were to get 500 PRV, 1,000 GWV, 1 active frontline, or 12,000 GWV and 5 active frontline, whatever it may be, that is paid at title. Okay, that is paid at title. That is how she's going to get paid for her team. And I think that's where we get confused. I have a lot of people tell me all the time, oh, well, my teamies, like my GWV, I did. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't have the rest. You have to have everything to be paid at title, not just 1 or 2 of the 3 things. For me as a director, I need my 500 PRV, 10,000 GWV, and 3 active frontline. If I don't have any of that, guess what? I'm being paid at whatever level my things add up to. So last month, it was a month for probably all of us. And I did not get paid a director for the first time in I don't know how long. And that's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I accepted it. It is what it is. I can't control people buying during this this increase in the economy. That's okay. So I had 4,000 GWV. We average about 15,000. And I didn't have my normal PRV, but I did have my active frontline. So I got paid as a star consultant because that is where all of my numbers ended up being. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense, everybody. So when you are looking to be paid at title to promote, you need to be paying attention to whatever your numbers are at, whatever your goal is for that specific promotion or whatever your title is. You need to know that you have to have all of the necessary parts. Okay. The other thing, last thing, is 2K incentive. Some people don't know about this, some do. Why do we all push for 2K? Because you get a 5% pay increase. Okay, so if you have 2,000 PRV in 1 month, for that month, not forever, for that month, you get 30% commission versus 25%. Okay, so that's very important. That is why so many of us try and push for 2K. So a 2K without a team, okay, without a team, a 2K PRV month is a $600 paycheck for you. That is without a team. Take that, think about that while Courtney's talking about promotions. With no team, 2K, $600. Okay. Courtney, anything else you want me to talk about before you start?
No, I think that was great.
Okay.
I think you hit them all. Anybody have any questions before we dive into the next part? Anybody at all? I'm trying to watch.
Oh, yeah. The confetti is fun.
The confetti is fun.
I can't read comments while I'm talking, or that's when like my squirrel brain.
I'm gonna have to shut mine off because I'm too scrolling. It's fine. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna put this one. All right, so I am going to talk about pretty much, I'm gonna dig lightly into the comp plan. Actually, you know what? Comment below who doesn't really understand the comp plan. Who's good with it? Who kind of understands how to promote? Who doesn't really? I really want to know, like, not really how in depth I need to go, but I need to know where you guys are sitting at. There's 22 people on here, so just write in the chat real quick, like, where are you at with the comp plan? Do you feel comfortable? You're good with it? You know what you need to promote with? You know what pay to title is? All those things. Because if we don't need to dive into it massively, like, then we don't need to dive into it. Crazy.
Let me add this too. How many of you know what happens if one of your teamies over promotes you? Go away. How many of you know what happens when you're that new lose your downline? How many of you are very confident in that? I feel like we definitely should cover the over promoting because there's so many people, and then the director split. But do any of you know about over promoting? I think would be a good question, because a lot of you are good with it. That's good. That's growth. I'm going to tell you, when I first joined, none of us knew what was happening.
Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share real quick. I figured this out earlier. Hold on, let me figure it out. Start share. Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's start share. Okay.
You're gonna,
There it is. Okay, cool.
That green button that says share screen.
All right, share. Can y'all see this? Cool.
Yep.
Okay, so
you might need to zoom out a little bit. We can't see the whole thing.
Okay, hold on. There we go.
There you go.
Good. Okay. So this is our comp plan. Okay. You can find this on, okay, actually, let me back up to who I am, because not everyone knows who I am either. So let's back it up there. So my name's Courtney. I am a star director. I've been doing Scentsy for about 4.5 years now, I think, at this point. Some of you guys may have watched my trainings previously, like from the last couple of years. Long story short, you can find my trainings on YouTube, but long story short, when I joined Scentsy, I completely failed. I thought I could make money quick and it would just fall in my lap and my success would just happen, and it didn't. I killed my business for 10 months. And then I came back hot 10 months later, obviously, and I promoted 4 times in 2 months. I put my head down. I worked really hard. I had 2 kids under 2. It was really intense, but it was completely worth it, because the next 3 years map themselves out, and it's phenomenal what just hard work does. But I will tell you, I like saying that only because right now my business isn't doing too great. Like I haven't been paid a star director in a year. My director, she promoted and then she flopped off and I don't even know where she's at anymore. So it's not all butterflies and rainbows for leaders and people that have a bigger team and whatnot. We started last year off over 300 and now we've dropped down to like 270-ish, which stinks as well, but it just happens. Only 10% of your team really works. And I have personally been in a rut for probably 6 months now. Like this fall was a struggle for me. Partying is a struggle. Last month was the first time in, I don't even know, 18 months that I didn't have 2000 PRV. So if y'all are in the same boat, I totally get it. It flipping sucks. I did earn the second level of this incentive, so I am pretty pumped about Cabo because that's what I'm hoping for. But you're not alone. So I just want to put that out there. Like, me and Kylie are not some like golden ticket for you guys. I am hoping that this will motivate myself and motivate you guys, and we can all get some really good golden nuggets from this. Yeah. So yes. Okay. So jumping into the comp plan, I gotta get off the chat because I'm gonna read it and then not pay attention to myself. And there. All right. So the comp plan. I mean, looking at this, if you're new, you don't have a team, it looks very intimidating. Most of you guys know what this is, the whole comp plan and whatnot. Now, the one thing that Kylie said, getting to 2000, that's going to be very important, but don't like if you're not used to even getting 200 PRV or 500, please don't set yourself up for 2000 because that's going to hit you hard and you're going to feel like really like a failure because 2000 is a lot when you first start off. So I would say shooting for like 500 if you're trying to grow in this business, which I feel like most of you guys are. If you're here and you're listening to us, you want to grow your business in a way. If you're not and you're just here for fun, then that's great. But listen, growing your team, and we are going to talk about this in the weeks to come. I have a very different approach to it. I want to be an influencer on Instagram. I want to grow that way. So I have a very different approach that I'm going to take with my team in 2023 that I'm pumped to share with you guys and whatnot. But it's gonna be a lot, y'all. It's gonna be a lot. So with me, so if someone out promotes you, let's start there. Let's say you're a director or you're a star consultant. Actually, you're a star consultant right here. Okay. This is your bubble. And let's say you have your team. And let's say the girl under you is a lead consultant and she ends up recruiting like 5 people, right? Or something. And she out promotes you and she hits superstar or director. You do not get paid off of her team, period. She out promotes you, which means you get nothing off of her anymore. Okay. This is why it's so important. You can grow your team all you want, but if they start out promoting you, I mean, you're not getting paid off of them. You're only getting paid off yourself. So that's very important. Once you hit director, that does not happen to you. That is the difference when you hit director. But if you're under director and you get out promoted, you're a lead consultant and your new certified consultant takes off and you're not even hitting your 500 PRV, but she's hitting 500 PRV and she's got all her numbers and she out promotes you, you don't get paid off of her. So I want to make that very clear. This is where the whole like pyramid scheme and like all these things get intertwined. A pyramid scheme is the CEO at the top of the business or the leader getting paid no matter what. They're reaping all the rewards. With Scentsy, it's not like that because you have to work. You have to get your 500 to get paid off your team. And if you don't, well, guess what? You're not paid a title and you're not getting paid off your team. Okay. And then under here, obviously are all your percentages, which most of you guys are comfortable with this and whatnot. And honestly, even for my team, every time someone hits the next stage, like Kylie said, there's a little button that says like, what do you need to promote? And if you don't hit those numbers, I've gotten asked so many times last 2 months, like, wait, like, my name didn't change, or like, I didn't get paid, or it's not as much as I thought it was going to be, blah, blah, blah. When we backtrack, one, your title does not change. Okay. Your title does not change until payday. So if you hit star consultant this month, it's not going to change until payday next month. Okay. So just keep that in mind. You'll start next month off with, your title before that, and then you'll hit that. And then paid a title, like Kylie said, you have to hit all your numbers. You can't have one or the other. So if you don't have 500, you ain't get paid a title. Okay. So I kind of just want to show those that might be new here, the comp plan. If you need more like one-on-one in depth, even if I'm not your director or your sponsor, just message me and I'll be happy to like voice chat you or whatever and like go over the comp plan where you're at and what you need. that's totally fine. You know, I don't want to sit here and talk about the comp plan for 20 minutes because most of us are comfortable with that. I just got to figure out how to stop screen sharing. Hold on. Let's go back.
It's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
It'll say like stop sharing.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. New share. Pause share. Stop share. Wow, y'all. Hold on. Stop share. Okay, it's at the top for me. Oof. All right. So that's the comp plan a little bit, and why 500 as a leader is very, very important. Okay. Now we're going to dive in to the fun stuff that a lot of us are struggling with: being in a rut, being in a trench, in a horrible deep slope valley that sucks and you can't get out of. You know, I think like 95% of my team have like MIA'd for December, which is totally fine. And starting in 2023, you know, like last month, all fall, we were hitting like over 100 GWV, 100,000. And last month we were barely at 46,000. And that's a very big jump to take. But I want everyone on here that is a leader to know that doesn't reflect you as a leader. Okay. Everyone, like me and Kylie were talking earlier, that this season just brings on like their seasonal depression. The holidays can be really hard for people who don't have like family members around or lost family members. And sometimes there's not really things to celebrate that they want to celebrate. This season, as great as it is, can also bring on really hard times for other people. The pressure, especially on moms to get Christmas, just people in general to get Christmas ready and all the holidays and all these things. I just want you guys to know, if you had a really bad December, it's totally fine. It is totally normal. Okay. It sucks. I beat myself up last month, and then like the last 2 weeks of the month, I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm going to dip out too. I'm going to rest, relax, and like gather myself and get ready for this training in January. So the difference is you can either sit there and you can be sad about it in a mean way. You can sit there and pout and be sad, or you can pull yourself out of it and you can figure out new ways to come out of that rut. That is that's the whole like sum of like where I start getting so passionate about this, is because when I started, I don't even know how, 4 years ago, you know, I made every excuse in the book. Oh my God, it's too late. I have to get sleep. My kids are 12 and a half months apart. Okay. 12 and a half months apart when I started. I had just had my daughter 2 months after I joined, and I was like, I can't do it. I made every excuse. I was like, oh, well, you know, it should come easy to me. I should do this, all these things. And it just didn't. And I beat myself up. But the truth is that when it came time to me finally, like, not rejoining because I never went inactive, but like to really take it seriously, I had to dig deep in myself, and I had to have a very, very brutal conversation with myself. If you can't have a conversation with yourself internally and be honest with yourself, then this business, any business really, and this industry is not for you. And that's just the truth that I feel, because I sat there and I was like, all right, well, you scroll Netflix for 3 hours a day when you could be doing X, Y, and Z, you know, or you know, instead of working hard at doing labels, you're trying to do what so-and-so that's been doing it for 7 years is doing. And then I compare myself that I don't have all this money to buy all these samples and all these, it's just the comparison game. When you're comparing yourself to someone who's been in it for 4, 5, 6 years, it's different. If I were to sit here and look at like Katie Lassiter's mail outs, I'm like, I can't afford that. There's no way. I actually stopped doing mail outs. I stopped doing mail outs because I literally refused to pay $3 for a mail out. I can't do it. It's the comparison game is what like killed it for me in the beginning. I will never forget. I remember seeing one of Rachel's videos, and she's my best friend too, and my sponsor. And she had all these bag parties in front of her. And it was like a pet bag party, a cleaning bag party, and I was just like, so you got to pour a lot of money into this to like get, you know, to get something out of it. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then when I really sat down and thought about it, you know, 10 months later, I was like, well, yeah, I'm not going to have all of that, but that's what makes me different. Now I can get creative and I can do something about that. So you know what I did? I got on YouTube, and I've said this 1,000 times in every training. It changed my life. If you are struggling in your business and you are lacking motivation, nobody can give that to you. Nobody. You have to give motivation to yourself. I am the only person that can motivate myself. And it is something that I feel like is said all the time, but people aren't accepting it. People like want motivation to be given to them. They need something. The truth is, trainings like this, YouTube, going back over old trainings, all those things, those give you motivation. When I'm in a rut, I redo my entire office. I go on a freaking frenzy and I pull out every single cabinet and drawer in my flipping office and I reorganize. And I'm like, whew, I have like a new woman coming in here and I got all this in my drawer. It's all organized and I'm going to do this. I feel so good about it. I'll reorganize my space so that my brain feels organized. There's so many things. I will start new systems. Okay. This is where systems we talk about. And this is why I said earlier that ruts and systems really come together, because sorry, I just had a soda too. And I'm out of breath from talking so fast. Sorry, I talk real fast, y'all. Let me slow down. But ruts and systems, I feel like really come together because I am not perfect with systems. So I'm not going to sit here and preach to you that my system works and it's the best one ever. I am going to preach. Yes, I'm going to preach a system that works for you. And for me, I flip between writing in a notebook and writing in my planner. I'm never consistent ever. But with my ADHD, yes, I have one just like that. With my ADHD, I don't like things to be the same. It's like this creative part of me that has to create something new to keep me interested. That's just me. I get bored real quick. So to keep myself motivated and to keep myself wanting to be in my office to do stuff, no matter what I'm doing, I switch things up. So I go from writing down follow-ups on here to, I just did my send of the month cards today. Okay, I did all these. Whenever I print out labels, I just go back and print off phone numbers and the date they purchased. And then as I mail these out, I'll sit down and message these 30 people in one day, 15 minutes, 30 texts done. So like, I'll go between like literally I have 3 systems in front of me. I have my planner with my follow-ups, my notebook, my follow-ups, and this, and every month I change it. So it just depends on what I do. And I like tomorrow, I'll text all these people and I'm going to staple this and I'm going to put it in my planner with the month of January. And that way I know I did my follow-ups. And then if I have it in here, I usually rip it out and I'll put it in here as well. I just have different systems. There's nothing, I'm not a type A. Actually, I don't know what type I am. I just know I'm not type A. I don't highlight things. I don't have things massively organized. It's organized in my brain and in the way that I want it. So for you and all you guys out there, I would say you need to figure out what system is going to work for you. Okay. And it's not going to happen overnight. You could sit here and you could spend 3 hours figuring out what's going to work for you. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to say, wow, I wasted 3 hours doing X, Y, and Z. I got nothing accomplished. That was an IPA that's going to bring in money for me. When all I could have done is just went to my workstation and just wrote out everyone's names and texted them in 10 minutes. Like, y'all have got to cut the fluff out. And that's what I had to like tell myself. It's like, I really have to cut the fluff out. I got to stop trying to make everything so pretty. If you have time and you're done with your IPAs, great. Make things pretty. Like, that's awesome. But if you don't have time and you're crunching in 15 minutes a day, sporadically here and there, then all you need is a dollar store notebook. That's all you need. And your workstation. This is all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need a fancy planner. And I'm over here. I spent $16 on ADHD planner, which I plan on using because my ADHD is ridiculous. But this is really good though too, because let me tell you, I got this from the Target. I told you I have so many systems, y'all. So many systems that work for me and my craziness. But these are for my crazy days. So like today, I got this for $1.50 at the Target dollar section. Okay, this is all you need. And I'll write down, I didn't even write it down. I wrote it down. So I had a list, because with me and my ADHD, I feel very accomplished when I have check marks in front of me. Okay. It's a great feeling that I have. And so I knew every single morning I come in my office every morning without fail. If you work full-time, I work part-time. I started a part-time job and I raise 2 kids at home that do not go to school. So when I say that I'm busy, I'm busy. I'm not going to a full-time job and dropping my kids off. I am at home with 2 raging toddlers 24/7 who wake up at 5:45 in the morning. Okay. And go to bed at 10 o'clock. So trust me, I get it. Half the time I'm texting customers when I go to the bathroom, literally, while Remy's staring at me. What are you doing, Mom? You know, it's super fun. So every morning for me, I come in my office and I write down 3 IPAs, just 3. I think 3 is a phenomenal number. And it gives you something. The thing is that you don't have to do everything all day. You need to do 3 things a day, 1 thing a day. And that's going to lead up to success over time, is these little things every day. I don't remember who told me this. I get very overwhelmed with follow-ups. It is one of my least favorite things to do in the business. I used to love it. And now, because my customer base is larger, doing 50 or 60 mail outs literally puts me into a stroke. Like, I literally can't handle it some days. And I come in my office and I will find anything else to do except for my follow-ups, which I'm supposed to be doing. And I think it was Rachel or someone that told me, just do 3 a day. Just do 3 a day. Every time you go in your office and you write your IPA'S down, just take out 3 envelopes, do 3 mail outs, and text those 3 customers, and you're done for the day. Bam, you did follow-ups to your customers. That was very intentional. You mailed out 3 mail outs that were 75 cents each or whatever, and you're done. Like, that's what you did for the day. That's great. And so that really stuck with me, where I was like, you know what? You're so right, because I'm a procrastinator. So I will do anything except for what I have to do if I don't want to do it. So if you're like that, set yourself up with something that's going to bring you joy. So if you get overwhelmed with these large follow-ups, then cut them back. Make them simple. Stop trying to make them so pretty. I know some of our top leaders have these beautiful mail outs, these beautiful templates. Even me, it's part of, I'm learning so much about my ADHD because I'm really trying to get it under control, because I get very like crazy some days, being at home with 2 kids that destroy everything. But I am learning so much about my ADHD in general. And a lot of that is my hyper focus. And what I didn't know was there's like it's a convergent and divergent part of your brain with ADHD. And for me, for ADHD people, we like to be creative. So instead of sitting down and doing the boring crap that we don't want to do that makes us money, we like to be super creative and stuff that doesn't make us money. Because I guarantee you, yes, it's pretty in the mail, but it's going in the trash in 5 seconds. They only want that sample. They're probably not going to read all your mail outs. That's just the truth, because I don't even do that. And that's it. So keep it short and sweet. Don't fill out a huge piece of paper. Just type something up. Just write something out real quick. Let's go back to like minimalizing samples and that being it. Okay. Like, and I saw Brianna's post for Project Broadcast. So I had a Project Broadcast. I actually cut it out because, 1, I didn't want to pay the $15, $30 a month every time I sent texts out. But 2, I was sending all these texts out and I would get like 4 responses. So I went back to, like, this is me personally, I just went back to one-on-one on my binder. I knew it worked for me. I gave Project Broadcast a chance for a month, maybe 8 weeks. And then I just realized it wasn't bringing me joy and I didn't want to do it. And that's the fun part of systems. If it doesn't work for you, you scratch it out and you try something new until you find what works for you. For me, I like pretty colorful pens, and I like writing in my notebook with pretty colorful pens. And that brings me joy. So it makes me happy when I do follow-ups, because I'm able to write their names down and I get to like, it's a creative part of me. So I want you guys to like focus on like what allows you to be creative, but still brings an IPA to the table. Okay. So if that means you get one of these, or you just get I can't tell you how many sticky notes I have that I just pull out and they're all over my desk. I think I shove them all over here. Literally. There's so many. I don't know why I don't throw them away. Yeah. Just get out a sticky note and write down what's important and what's going to bring you income, conversations, all the IPAs that you need to run your business. And if you're looking at this list and you're like, I'm trying to think of a non-IPA that I wrote down earlier underneath all my stuff here. Hold on. What did I write? Okay, so let's start here. Scrolling social media is not an IPA. I think we should all agree on that. Yes, it's not an IPA. What is an IPA is being on social media, but talking to your customers. So getting to know them, commenting on their personal posts, commenting on their dog passing, their kid graduating kindergarten, or drawing a cute picture, whatever it is, communicating with your customers, whether in text don't work for me. Okay. Whether in text or in, social media, that's the difference. Okay. Again, text don't work for me. I can message out. Is that a boomerang, Kylie? I can message out like 30 texts to people and I will only get like 3 responses. And it's so frustrating. I totally get it. It's frustrating. So if you follow me on social media, I like to be on social media. I like to conversate with people on social media. And we're going to touch base on this on week 3, but I'm just going to say that I will be talking a lot about what we don't know. And I will say this very short and sweet until we get into it in 2 weeks from now. But when you go on social media, those that use Instagram and Facebook, you don't see any influencers or high following people. You don't see anyone in the Scentsy world like that. Okay. You just don't. And if they are, it's mostly Scentsy people that are following them. I decided, being in a rut for 6 months, and I'm like, I recruited so many people this year at the first 3, the first 3 months of the year. I was hitting like 7,000 PRV, January, February, March. Then all of a sudden I shot down, and I was like, why did I shoot down so fast? Well, the truth is, I recruited 18 people, and each of those 18 customers brought their mom or their sister that bought for me with them. So in turn, I lost like 60 customers plus, if not more. I lost a huge base of my customer base when I recruited these people and their family members. Okay. And that's great. And I'm happy for it, but it killed my business for the rest of the year. And for the first time in 4 years, I took a dive in my business where it was a struggle to even get 1,500 PRV. And that's just the truth. And I stopped getting paid at titles to star director because my director fell off. And I have been in this phase of like, what am I doing in my business? Like, whatever. And so I decided that instead of being in this huge rut and being like a pity party for myself and my teams, they're not doing anything and I'm expected to do X, Y, and Z, I decided to get creative. And I looked around at everything and I was just like, okay, well, I don't want to hear any more of it's in the follow-up, it's in the follow-up, it's in the follow-up. I agree. It's in the follow-up. I do agree that one-on-one communication, I do agree that like it is in some sort of follow-up, but I don't think that that's it for everybody. And I would love to know in the chat, who gets text backs on follow-ups? Who actually, do you guys actually connect with your customers in one-on-one follow-ups? I'm actually really curious to see who feels like their follow-ups are like a game. Like, are your follow-ups what brings you money back in your business? Like, I might get a text back, I might, out of like 30 texts, I'll get like 2 or 3 texts back, but I don't get parties off of them. If I ask, I haven't had a party in, I don't even know, 2.5 months. I can't get a yes to save my life. I probably asked like 200 people, literally. No, maybe not 200, maybe like 100. Let's back up a little bit, maybe like 100. So anyways, I decided to go outside the box, and this is not everyone's jam, but I am building a different community on social media. So Instagram is taken off. That's just the truth of it. Facebook Reels taken off. That's the truth of it. I have my own little mom community, my own little like community of like 30 girls on Instagram, and I freaking love it. And some of them have already bought from me, and it's just amazing. And so I am changing the way I move. When I see influencers on social media and I see higher people that are killing it in their business, they are usually in different industries than Scentsy. And that's not in a bad way, but it's just saying that I think we as a culture have been so focused on I think we've just been so focused on your VIP page and one-on-one follow-up, your VIP page, happy mail, your VIP page, happy mail. It doesn't work for everybody. And that's just the truth of it. It really just doesn't work with everybody. And so for me, I'm like, well, I'm going to go outside the normal, and I'm going to beat the odds, and I'm going to build a community on social media. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be myself on my personal page, and I will sell in my stories. And it has worked for me so far. So anyways, that's my focus. So I want you to think outside the box. If something is not working for you and you keep hearing someone say it's in the follow-up or go to your VIP page and post every day, if it doesn't work for you, it's okay if it doesn't. I don't want you guys to get stuck in this headspace of you aren't a leader, or you're not a good consultant because this isn't working for you, but it's working for somebody else. You have to know your audience. I have a lot of my younger crowd that orders from me on Instagram, and I have a lot of the older generation on Facebook with me. So I have to know that I have to share to both, because I have 2 different platforms of people. But you just need to know that, okay? Dang, 22 personal links. That's insane. Holy crap. Okay, we need a training from you. Oh my God. Oh, she said not 22, just 2. I was like, girl, we need a training from you. Yeah, Janie, I check in with people on personal levels, and since it gets brought up, great. I don't get much feedback from emails. Yeah, emails, I have never gotten anything from emails. I send them out, but that's it. And again, Instagram, I'm not gonna get on all that, but Instagram is not for everybody. I get that. And when I mentioned it to a few people, they were like, I'm never gonna be on Instagram. Well, the thing is if you want your business to grow, you've got to get outside your box. You got to get outside your comfort zone. I was not into Instagram. I wasn't into stories up until, I'd really joined Scentsy and I got uncomfortable. But the truth is that the world is changing, and network marketing has done just that. It is network marketing. It's on the network. Like, you have to market on the network, and that's just the truth of it. You cannot rely on the same circle in your VIP group. You have got to get uncomfortable and reach outside of that and build a community. I don't care where it's at. If it's in your hometown, if it's on Facebook, if it's on Instagram, on Twitter or TikTok. I don't really use any of those either, but like my jam is Instagram. So you've got to think past that. So a few IPAs that I'm going to tell you that worked for me in my business, that me and Kylie put together, that worked for both of us. Okay. Having systems in place, just talked about. So when it's time for you to work, everything is organized. Again, when you sit down for your 15 minutes, you know what you're doing. So I sat down during the kids' nap time and I knocked out what I do today. I did team email, customer email, my Send of the Month mail outs, printed and done, prepped my Zoom call with Kylie while the kids were sleeping. And I actually did 3 reels after that before the kids woke up. So I didn't finalize my planner. That probably should have been first over reels. But when you sit down, you need to know what you're doing. This is important. You don't want to sit down when you finally have 15 minutes and be like, I don't know what I need to do today. You need to have that in mind when you go to sleep. Tomorrow, I really need to get customer emails out because we have a lot of stuff dropping this month. I need to get 3 parties booked. So I need to text 5 people tomorrow and do it. If you're on the toilet, I'm TMI, you're taking a poop, you need to text 5 customers. Okay. Don't be like our husbands and scroll.
Before I forget, something I thought of too with this, for me, I think I'm undiagnosed ADD because I can't process things. So like my systems, I have a notebook, I have written systems. Some of my systems I have on Google Doc because I like to change them up. But something that really worked for me with this, with what Courtney's talking about, I picked a focus for my days. So Mondays and Thursdays, I work at my part-time job. So I don't work Scentsy except for maybe like social media or if somebody messages me. But Tuesdays are customer days, Wednesdays are team days, Fridays are catch-up days. So whether my catch-up day is samples, cleaning my office, printing things out, finishing mail outs, whatever that might be, I broke it up into days. So I'm not like, I got to do these mail outs, I got to text my team, I got to do my customers, I got to do this, and this all in one day. I might have to do a bunch of things for my team, but Tuesday's customer day. So Tuesday, I'm doing follow-ups. I'm doing mail outs. I'm focusing on those. Wednesday, I'm going to focus on following up with my team. I'm going to focus on whatever I need to do for the team. If I finish and I still have time, then I'm going back and doing the other things I need to do that are income producing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Courtney, I'm a mom, I'm busy. It's just my husband and I in this new area. We don't have many options. I always have my daughter. So I had to come up with a system and a way that didn't overwhelm me, but got my stuff done. So if you needed another idea and you're feeling overwhelmed, that might be another thing that helps you too, is find those 3 IPAs and break them up to what days you're going to do it with, whatever works with your schedule. The other thing I did was when I worked full-time, I had 2 weekdays that I worked for 1 hour after work, and I would work Saturday mornings for 45 minutes. And that was the only office hours that I spent in my office. The rest was done either over my phone, driving in the car, or going to the bathroom, whatever it was. So you don't have to do stuff every single day in your office to be successful. I do not step into my office every day still. So
that is true. I will say, I definitely don't do Scentsy stuff every single day. If I do, I'm intentional in my stories. That's what I'm intentional in. If I am doing something every day with Scentsy, and that's one thing I can tell you. And if you don't do Instagram or stories, then it would be your VIP page, obviously. One thing I do every single day is I share something. If you watch my stories, you know it's diffusers for me. I freaking love my diffusers. So you can only show a wax change, but once a week. So I show my diffuser change every single night when I go to bed or every morning, one of the two. And I freaking love it. Okay. Or I show spraying the dogs. It's wet outside. It's crappy. Our dogs smell like crap. We need to spray them. Like all these things. So if you can show one thing on your VIP page or in your stories every single day, you're going to start getting interest. And I did this challenge a few years ago, like 2 years ago, I think, with my team, where I gave them a challenge of picking your top 2 favorite products. So for me at the time, it was Scentsy Fresh and Counter Clean. And every single day for 2 weeks, you shared that product. You don't need to share everything. You shared that product. So every single morning, I made and sprayed my bed every single morning. And then every single afternoon or after like a dinner, I would show how Counter Clean got like my walls cleaner or got my baseboards cleaner or clean my countertop or my stove. And I did those products. And I tell you, I sold so much Scentsy Fresh and Counter Clean. I can't even tell you how much I sold. That was like my best month selling those products. So you don't need to focus on everything in your business, but if you can focus on sharing just one product really well every single day, sharing something new in your VIP page or on your stories, that's what's great. And that is social selling and that is network marketing. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. Like Kylie says, when I started back up my Scentsy business, I was not in my office every day, but this is my IPA part. I incorporated Scentsy into my everyday life. So being a stay-at-home mom at the time, I got up. My kids used to sleep in until 9 a.m. Okay, now they're up at 5:45. So I used to get up at 5:45 with my husband when he would go to work, and I would act like I was working because I was trying to build this business. And I would get up with my husband. I would make his coffee for him, whatever, make my coffee, and then I would sit in my office. I would turn my adult show on, and I would sit down for 2.5 hours and do work. That's what I did every single day for those 2 months when I promoted 4 times. I worked my tail off. Yeah, I couldn't message people, but I had a list and I was like, all right, at 9 a.m., my kids are going to get up. So while they're eating breakfast, I have this list of 15 people I'm going to text real quick. And I would do that 2 or 3 times a week. And it changed my business. And then again, let's say I'll have a lot of people when I worked in the medical field on their lunch breaks, they would go walk around their building and they have headphones in and do like their little walks and stuff. For me, I had my kids. So if they were fussy, I'd go on a car ride during that time, or I would go on a walk every single day in the summertime, put my headphones in and I'd pull up a training. And every single week I watched one training from somebody new because again, we love our leaders, but you can only listen to the same leaders to the same thing so many times. You've got to reach outside of our groups and find new people. And it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. You want to hear from different people because you need different perspectives. Everybody is a different part in their life and their business. And so I would pick a training. One week it was PRV. And so I went to YouTube. Everything is YouTube. I went to YouTube and typed in PRV Scentsy. And every day on my walk, I found a 15 to 20 minute video. I listened to it and I went home and I implemented it that night or the next morning when I woke up and I did work. And I did that for 2 months. I was exhausted. Okay. I had 2 kids under 2, literally. And I had hit director within 2 months. I didn't know what to do with 30 people. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to be a leader. I don't have systems. I was in bed. I had my desk next to my bed. So I had to put headphones in at night when I worked until 3 a.m. and listen, so I couldn't listen to my husband snore. There were so many nights that I was like trying to be quiet and do mail outs on the floor. Like you just don't, I have to humble myself and remember like where I started versus where I am now. I dreamed to have an office like this. But I do remember sitting next to my snoring husband. I remember at 3 a.m. him stubbing his toe on like one of my chairs for my mail outs. And he was so mad at me. I will never forget that. It was so funny. But just remember, like, if you're struggling, find those IPAs. So on the way to work, in the shower, on walks with my kids, in car rides, I would plug headphones in, especially in the shower. I put my phone on a video training and I put it on the counter and I listened to that training when I took a shower. Bam, there's your IPA for the day. You learned something while you did a daily thing, taking a shower, on your drive to work. Yes, cooking dinner. I mean, all these things. You listen to these things, you meet these new leaders, and then I go follow them on social media and I follow their personal life and I get to know them. And it's just, there's so much you can learn outside of our groups. Okay, is what I'm saying. Staying consistent with your teams, do the same things monthly, even if you feel like your team isn't performing. We all can probably feel that our teams aren't performing well. And you know why? We're not performing well. So how can we expect our teams to be on A game if we're not on A game? Now, you're not their motivation. Okay. You're not the reason that they aren't motivated. But if you stay uplifting, I do believe that positivity, uplifting, sharing things, I think that breeds motivation into your teams. So if you can stay on top of it, even if that means like, I bring my phone in the shower. So 9 times out of 10, I'm doing some kind of work on my phone while I take a shower. That's just the truth of it. Ryan will open the shower. It's been 25 minutes. And I'm like on Google Docs. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm almost done with my work and then I'll be done. Like, cause I like to be in the shower for like 45 minutes, like dying of heat and whatever. But that's when I get my most productive work done, honestly, is in the shower. Like, that's just being truthful. I get most of it done when I'm in the bathroom. So utilize your time. If you realize that you're watching Netflix and Hulu and you're scrolling, I mean, just think like you could really be intentional with that time. Okay. I had to cut off Netflix for a good bit because I get really sucked into shows. And then I sit there, I'm like, well, I haven't done shit for 30 minutes. I probably should like turn this off and like go do something. Like, I have to be real honest with myself. Like, oh my God, I just got sucked into like this new show that I'm watching. So yeah, you don't have to be perfect in every area. Just utilize that 15 minutes a day, break it up in 5 minutes, all those things. Let me see. I'm gonna read your comments. Yeah, and then like I said, if time is an issue, wake up 30 minutes earlier. I was actually talking to one of my friends about this, and she was like, I'm struggling being a new mom. I don't think she's watching this, but she was like struggling to be a new mom and all these things. And I told her, I was like, listen, the one thing I can tell you is wake up earlier, stay up 30 minutes earlier. That 30 minutes before or after, if you just get up and you have that alone time to do something, it sucks. But if you want success, it doesn't come easy. And that is stuff that you have to give up. And she was like, that's a non-negotiable. I have to have sleep and I have to have time with my family. But she even said it. She's like, I accept that I'm not going to be where I want to be because I'm not willing to do those things because those are important to me. And if that's important to you, I understand that. We understand that. That is you. But for me, I thrived on 3 hours of sleep. I would work. I'd put the kids down. Literally, Remy was up every 2 or 3 hours, and I would stay up until her 3 a.m. feeding. And then I would work literally from 12 to 3 every single night, and then feed her, and then go to bed and wake up at 6 o'clock with Ryan, if that, and then do more work and then get the kids up. Like, that was my schedule for like 6 months, literally. And I was exhausted, but I sit back now 3 years later and I'm like, it was worth it. It was worth every tear and every exhaustion and every single cup of 10 coffees a day. But I wouldn't change it because it helped me be where I am now. And I feel very like confident that like, if you're willing to sacrifice even 15 minutes of your morning routine, and it doesn't happen, it takes time. What I say is like, set your alarm 15 minutes earlier every 3 days. So if you're usually up at 7, then set it for 6:45 for 3 days. Try that until you get to 6 a.m. That's a whole hour you get to yourself. There's self-care, there's business, there's a TV show you can watch by yourself, a podcast you can listen to. If you want it, you'll do it, is what I'm saying. Average of 6 months of consistency. Exactly. 6 months. Okay. So I'm out of breath, y'all. Whew. That was a lot. I know I talk a lot, so I'm going to stop there. That's all I got to give. And then I think Brianna asked, so yeah, I'll go back to questions. I did see Brianna's question on Instagram, and we're going to touch base on this when we do our trainings. I think it's 2 weeks from now, because next week is parties in PRV. So the week after that, I think, is like the social media and like growing and all those things. I've actually had a few questions on that. But if you want to message me separately, I'll be happy to talk about it before then, because I'm very passionate about what I think about it. But yes, I stopped sharing Scentsy on my page, period.
Same.
I don't share it. If you go to my profile, you would not know that I sold Scentsy. I don't post it. I don't even have Scentsy consultant in my bio because I don't want Scentsy to have any say in what I post, because if you have it there, then they can say and do what they want with your page. They have control over what you do. But I actually stopped following people. Like, I won't unfollow you, but I'll mute your page if I see you posting your products 24/7. I love my Scentsy people. I love you guys. I love my team, but I cannot see it every day on my social media because my life is not Scentsy. I am not Scentsy. I am Courtney. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I share funny crap on social media and real mom life humor stuff and wife life and all those things. I don't want to see Scentsy and Saint and Young Living and all these products on my social media. I want to see who you are as a person. I want to get to know you as a person. And that's where my connection lies on social media. And I only social sell in my stories, because when someone's invested in who you are and they come to my profile and they're like, man, she's funny as shit. I like her. Like, I want to go follow her stories. Like, she's talking smack about her husband and her kids. Like, let me go follow her. I'm just like her. And then they go and follow my stories and they're like, oh, well, she also sells this, but I'm not like, buy it from me. I just share my diffusers. And then someone bought a diffuser the other day. Like, that's how I am going about it. So I share who I am on my social media. I don't share Scentsy.
I do a mix. So I don't share product pictures that much on my Instagram. I do in my stories, but unless I have like something motivational or something I'm trying to say, like I don't sell it on my Instagram. For instance, I just made like my 2023 post and it had nothing to do with Scentsy other than like all it said was I'm blessed that I have Scentsy, but it had like all of my thankfuls. And I took a picture of me with like a tub of washer whiffs. Like, but if you read it, had nothing to do with Scentsy. But then my Facebook, I do post a little bit more marketing things because I have a group of people who follow that. So everything I post on Instagram posts to my Facebook. And then there's certain things that I will post on my personal Facebook that you will not see on my Instagram. So it might be like sharing the diffusers, or it might be like my scent crates or something, but most of my stuff stays on my VIP page or my stories. Jamie, I try so hard to motivate my team. I share my highs and lows. I feel like they don't want it, and that sucks. The only person I have control of is me. Yeah, I'm a control freak. Ask anybody that knows me. I'm a control freak. I have issues of control in my marriage. I have issues of control in friendships, my business, my child. Like, it is just my type A. I want to know what's happening. I want to know the next step, control issue person. And that is really why I've been struggling so hard, because it's like, man, I can't make them. Like, I have never not been paid a title. I've been a director for 2.5 years. I've never been paid, not been paid a title until now. What can I do about it? Absolutely freaking nothing. Absolutely freaking nothing. And I have to just suck it up. And unfortunately, you have to suck it up too, Jamie. And I'm just going to say it like that because I'm in that phase of life, in this business. And what I'm doing, like, I do every single month, I do end of the month, whatever, for my banners and top sponsors, top PRV, top GWV, paid at title. This month, I didn't even do top 10 PRV because my 9th and 10th person would have been below active. So I did top active PRV. So like I even had to change it and delete all the others because I had nobody else to post. And my post with it was literally like, y'all know I'm going to keep it real. This month was like a womp womp. But what are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit here, or are we going to try again? And I would just say, keep motivating them. Like, be honest. Like, hey, I know we're struggling, but this is what worked for me. Hey, I know we're struggling. I tried this. It didn't work for me, but I've seen it work for other people. I think just continuing to share what's working, what's not, what's something new you're trying, give them new ideas. Something I did with my team this month, and I'm probably going to do it every other month for now, was I partnered with a really good Scentsy friend of mine, not Courtney, another one. And we, at the end of December, did a booking blitz as a team on Zoom for January. So like 2 days before New Year's, we all got on. It was like 7:30 Eastern time or 8:30 Eastern time or something. And we all sat there for 30 minutes and booked parties together. And that's something I'm going to keep trying to do, because not only did it allow us to book parties. I only booked one and I messaged 20 people and I have not heard back from any of them except for that one person. And she only said yes because I am now doing a party for her, which I hate doing, but I was kind of desperate. I'm not gonna lie. But did I have any responses? No. Did I have many people show up? No. But am I gonna do it again? Yes. And I'm gonna just keep doing it, and they're gonna keep coming, and they're gonna keep seeing it, and they're gonna get interested. It's kind of like customers. You manifest with them what you're manifesting for yourself. If you, I recently, Holly and I recently did like a social media network marketing program. We paid $9. We did it. Her name is Kristen Boss. She's amazing. Courtney, I don't know if you know who she is, but she has a podcast. She's on Instagram, all that. But something that she said was, you manifest what you're posting. You manifest what you're bringing to the table. And nobody wants to hear boss babes. Nobody wants to hear monetize your scroll. Nobody wants to hear all these things because one, monetize your scroll means you're being lazy. Monetize your scroll means you get to scroll Facebook and make money. That's not what we're doing. And that really stuck with me because that's something I've said to people before is like, yeah, like you're scrolling Facebook, you're connecting with people. Yes, you're scrolling Facebook, but there's like more to it than that, right? Kristen, yeah.
I'm the same way. I mean, yeah, with the social media, I agree. Like you're not getting anywhere with scrolling. And that I've gotten very uncomfortable with my stories. And I'm getting a gastric sleeve next month. Hopefully, I'm praying for the end of the month, but my last appointment is next month, and then I get to schedule my gastric sleeve. And when I say I have been working really hard the last 2.5 months, I have posted one reel every single day. Okay. I had one reel hit over 1 million. I have some reels that hit 20, 30, 40,000. I have some reels lately that hit barely 1,000. I don't even care anymore. I don't care how many numbers it gets. The point is that I'm growing my Instagram and I've gotten 500 new followers in the last 2.5 months. That's 500 new people that could potentially be a new customer, a new follow, a new teamie. It doesn't matter. You never know. You never know who your next person is. And so that's my goal. And if I can do 500 every 2 months, in 5 years, I will have, I don't math, so we're not mathing that, but we'll have a lot of followers. Okay. So that's what we're going to leave that at. But that's the thing is like, yeah. And then, so I built mine up being like mom humor. And next month when I get my surgery, I am taking so many videos, so many before videos, transition videos, before and after pictures, and I will be transforming my profile into like a gastric sleeve. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to document my hopefully 100-pound weight loss. That's my goal. And I follow a lot of gastric sleeve people who blew up on social media by posting stuff like this, and their businesses, like I have one that's a Saint artist and her business took off, and that's my goal. So I'm like, I am transforming and I want new people on my team. So if you're struggling to have these conversations or motivating, like Kylie said, and back to Jamie, I would suggest you can't motivate somebody, but you can show up. And if that means you show up for one person, I have 2 girls on our team page are the only ones that I see working, and they're not even my direct front line. They're the only ones that I see working. And you know what? I'm showing up for them. I'm posting up every day if I can, and I'm showing them how I'm working. I'm still blocked from doing lives. So I was supposed to be doing a training, I keep getting posts. I keep getting blocked. I don't mean things the way I say things sometimes, and I don't think before I post it, and I did. There's literally an Adderall shortage. Okay. I didn't know that. And I stupidly went on Instagram or on Facebook and I was like, where are you guys getting your Adderall at? I was so stupid. I kind of meant like locally, what pharmacies have it in stock? So I don't have to call 70 pharmacies. So I got banned for 2 months because I'm trying to sell drugs or something or find drugs. I don't really know. That's how stupid I am sometimes, where I'm like, why would I post?
No, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so I went back and then I couldn't even talk about it on my social media like I usually would, because I'm like, I'm not trying to get banned on Instagram, so we're not going to talk about medication. So I keep just getting banned, literally. And then another one, last time I got banned 2 months ago on Facebook was because someone commented that there was some lady in Virginia Beach that was snatching kids out of their vans, and I was like, let her try, I'll cut her. And Facebook called me, I was being very abusive and something else. And I'm like, did you read the context? There's a lady, a baby snatching lady out there. I will cut her.
Their bots don't read.
I know. So yeah, their bots don't read. So I keep
Do we
getting.
have any other questions, guys? I feel like this had some good stuff. I feel like you learned something. When this is over, I'm going to go make a post on the page, and I'm going to say, give me your biggest takeaway. And I want to know your biggest takeaway. I want the people that were not on here to hear your biggest takeaways so they feel like they should go watch this, because chances are if they didn't show up to this, they're not going to watch the replay. So we need to be sharing what we learned. Okay.
I hope
We
y'all got
show
something
up
from this.
for the one. Don't forget that this entire training, we show up for the one. So Jamie, Brianna, whoever is, you're talking about your teams and the lack of motivation, show up for the one. They might not say anything right now, but they might say something later. Okay.
And what you can do too. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll say I have a few people on my team who they don't ever reply to me, but I know they're watching. Right. And then I have, the 4 or 5 people who I can count on to be interactive on my page. And I have the people where I'm like, well, I know they're watching, so we'll see what happens. But just keep showing up. You guys got this. You guys are doing great. And even if you aren't a leader yet, show up for your teams. Show up for the teams you're on. Because I know for my team, people are tired of hearing from me. So Holly, Elaine, like, post whenever you want, whatever you want, as long as it is beneficial for everybody. Or shout yourself out. You did something you're proud of, shout yourself out. Guys, I just did this and I'm so proud of myself. Don't forget that. Don't forget to shout yourself out.
I'm a big applaud person. I will be the first person to clap for myself, and I feel like everyone should feel like that. Don't feel like you're being judged. I feel like if you can't be your biggest supporter, nobody else will. I don't care what anyone. I used to feel so bad because I was always shouting myself out, but that's who I am, and I love it, and I love that I get to clap for myself. I earned level 2. I haven't been shouted out, so I'm gonna shout myself out tomorrow because I am proud that I'm going to Cabo. So I'm gonna shout myself out on that one. But and then 2, if you are a leader and you're in a rut on like how to motivate your team, take out a piece of paper and write down 4 trainings that you want to do for your team this month. Don't schedule them. Don't tell them when you're going live. Don't make a Zoom call. Just go on your team page and start from scratch. How to make a sample, how to do a wax mold, how to print out a label, how to do a follow-up, I really don't know on top of my head right now. I'm trying to think. Anything, literally. Write down 4 things that could benefit a newbie whose sponsor is not training them, who maybe need to see, how do you start from the get-go? How do you find new customers? How do you work your VIP page? Whatever it is, how do you do mail outs? When do you do mail outs? What do you put in your mail out? Write down a list and do 2 trainings, 4 trainings. That was my goal for this month, was to do 4 trainings, but I can't do them. So, I'm going to be starting from scratch next month when I'm unblocked, and I plan on doing 1 live training every single week, and that's what I'm giving to my team. So every week there will be 1 new training, and I'm going to go back to stuff that I've already talked about before, but it's going to be a brand new year for me. So that's kind of a good idea for you guys too. Even if I have talked to myself before when nobody has showed up in my lives because it's like 12 o'clock and everyone's at work, just talk. Yeah, I'll literally block the number at the top or something, and I'll just keep talking and then post it on YouTube. And I have so many people that reach out to me on Instagram that are like, I found you on YouTube and I followed you here from YouTube and I just love your trainings. Make a YouTube and just upload that training. Make sure it's in compliance, because there are people out there that like to watch your YouTubes and report you. So that's me. Anyways, all right, guys. 10:30. That wasn't bad. I thought I was gonna go to 11. So.
All right.
Met you at SFR.
Aww.
Yes, and you don't have to go crazy on YouTube, guys. You just make a YouTube account and just share your video, share your training.
All I do is I do my lives on Facebook and then I save it to my computer and upload it. Like, it's nothing fancy, and it's whenever I make a live. I haven't gone live for my team in a hot minute because of everything happening, and I'm hoping back 2023 I can get back into it. But just have one. Subscribe to your favorite people.
Yeah, watch their trainings, and then people find you on YouTube by searching PRV Scentsy. So I make all of my titles: sponsoring Scentsy, PRV Scentsy, January or February transition change, what I'm doing, sniff session. People will find you that way, and then they'll follow you on social media and ask you questions. I literally had people from Canada and stuff. Can I be on your trainings? I saw you on YouTube and I followed you here and now I want to be part of it. And I'm like, I'll post on YouTube soon, I promise.
Yep.
Anyways, happy first week.
Whoop, whoop. You guys made it. Feeling
All right,
good?
I think we're good. Let me end my. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah. I don't know.
It's still recording.
I know. Hold on. Stop.